Hello everyone, you're now with me, Ruben Gomez, for TVS News at 5. Let's moving on to the news. The movement control order on all states except for Sarawak has been extended until February 18th, effectively covering the Chinese New Year festival that falls on February 12th and 13th. Senior Defence Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the extension will start from February 5th, a day after the initial MCO 2.0 was supposed to be lifted. The extent of the MCO will not affect most parts of Sarawak, aside from several districts where MCO and enhanced MCO are imposed. Ismail said details of stricter measures will be released in due time, such as imposing limits on the number of people entering a supermarket. He said that the Attorney General was drafting new laws which would increase the fines for MCO violations. He stressed that the current phase of the MCO was different from the one imposed last year because small businesses will be allowed to continue operating. Nurseries and kindergartens in Sibu division were not allowed to operate following the drastic rise in cases there. However, Minister of Welfare, Community Wellbeing, Women, Family and Childhood Development, Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah said they were not allowed to operate unless there was a desperate need for them, especially from frontline workers. Her ministry had given leeway to frontline workers, taking into account their duties and responsibilities at the moment. For this purpose, requests should be made through her ministry, which would review these requests before approving them. So far, there was one such request in Sibu. However, upon further inquiry, the request was not from any of the frontline workers. Private healthcare facilities are ready to accommodate COVID-19 patients as directed earlier by the government. Private Healthcare Productivity Nexus PHPN Chairman Dr. Jacob Thomas said private healthcare providers had appeared 71 units of ventilators to government hospitals nationwide when cases in intensive care units ICU and coronary care units CCU begin to show a decline. This matter was confirmed by the Associations of Private Hospitals of Malaysia President Dr. Kuljit Singh in a statement recently. Dr. Jacob said private healthcare providers had always supported the government in dealing with any healthcare-related situation in the country, more so when there was a surge in daily COVID-19 cases. Meanwhile, Dr. Jacob said among the measures taken by PHPN were to provide screening centres and conduct swab tests on foreign workers at private hospitals. So far, 130 private facilities had set up COVID-19 screening centres. With a systematic and holistic approach to change, private hospitals would be able to make optimum use of resources such as equipment, technology, expertise and healthcare staff. Many students complained that it was hard to master physics. Therefore, a group of researchers from University Sultan Zainal Abidin, UNISA, here took the initiative to come up with an educational game called ELECTRICO. A physics lecturer from UNISA's Science and Medicine Foundation Centre, Dr. Siti Maisarah Aziz, said the board game was designed to test students' understanding of the functions of electrical components, as well as calculations involving equations and formulas in solving problems and questions related to electrical matters. She said ELECTRICO was a new innovation that diversifies physics learning methods through electrical-related questions which must be answered during the game. ELECTRICO, which was designed in November 2020, had proven to attract educators' attention after it won the gold medals in several research and innovation competitions last year. They included the Teachings and Learning Innovation Practice Competition at UMT Innovation Carnival 2020, UNISA Carnival on E-Learning 2020, and UNISA Science and Medicine Foundation Centre Innovation Competitions 2020. Welcome back. The Rubber Production Incentive IPG for January 2021 has been activated in Peninsular Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak. According to the Malaysian Rubber Board, MRB, the activation was due to the average farm level rubber price. In January 2021, cup lump or scrap rubber was RM2.45 per kilogram in the peninsula, RM2.15 per kilogram in Sabah, RM2.25 per kilogram in Sarawak. The board said smallholders have until the end of this month to make their claims. The activations of the IPG provided by the federal government is meant to help rubber smallholders when the price of the commodity is low. There are over 600 Malaysians currently registered with the Embassy of Malaysia in Yangon, Myanmar. Most of them comprise of businessmen and professionals working with various companies, and quite a number of them are with their families. Malaysia's embassy in Myanmar advised all Malaysians in Myanmar to remain calm, vigilant, and continue to adhere to the safety advisories of the local authorities with regard to the ongoing security situation in the country. The embassy said the situation in Yangon remains calm until now, with the Yangon International Airport closed for both international and domestic operations until further notice. The embassy was still gathering information on other parts of the country. International media reported that Myanmar's powerful military had taken control of the country in a coup and declared a state of emergency for a year. There was a disruption to mobile internet access since 5:30 a.m. yesterday, which had been restored by midday. However, the banking sector ceased operation due to limited internet activity. It's not just to hide clutter or to stop hackers from spying on you. Add saving the planet to the reasons you turn the camera off during your next virtual meeting. A new study found that despite a record drop in global carbon emissions in 2020, the mass transition to the work-from-home approach due to the pandemic still poses a significant environmental impact. According to the study conducted by researchers from Purdue University, Yale University and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, just 1 hour of video conferencing or streaming emits 150 to 1,000 grams of carbon dioxide, requires 2 to 12 liters of water, and demands a land area of about the size of an iPad mini. A number of countries have reported at least 20% in internet traffic since March. And if the trend continues through 2021, it would require over 185,000 square kilometers of forest to sequester the emitted carbon. The additional water needed to process and transmit data will also be enough to fill more than 300,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Because data processing uses a lot of electricity, and any productions of electricity has carbon, water and land footprints, reducing data download reduces environmental damage. And so, leaving your camera off can reduce these footprints by 96%, while streaming content in the standard definitions rather than HD could reduce emissions by 86%. Well, that's conclude the news at 5 p.m. Remember, for the Nightline, 11:30 p.m. with Handy Gui and 8 o'clock for the Utama with me again, with Maria Suji. Ruben Gomez, anytime, anywhere.